So this week, the country was shocked by the corruption we've seen on Wall Street, how Robinhood shut down their investors and how big tech and the media covered it. And, people on both sides of the aisle. I mean, you have Democrat socialists like AOC as well as conservative libertarians like Rand Paul saying this needs to be looked into, this needs to be investigated. And of course, a lot of times we do agree with these leftists about there being a problem. Our disagreement is always on the solution. So like Bernie Sanders had and Trump pointed out a lot of the same problems during their election, but they had different solutions, okay? So just because it's a nonpartisan issue, don't think they're gonna come up with a nonpartisan solution. In my estimation, nothing's going to change unless someone goes to jail, and I don't see anybody going to jail. I think, in my opinion, it's the usual suspects doing the usual shenanigans. And before I talk about what happened this week, let me just back up because, I watch things. I'm not an expert on the stocks, and by no means, but I watch things. And I pay attention, and I remember. And I remember in 2010, I believe it was May of 2010, the stock market dropped like 600 points in less than 15 minutes. And nobody knew what it was. So we find out it was a glitch because these billionaire stock traders have an advantage. It's legal, but it's an advantage. They have super high speed internet's doing their trades. And the experts at that time that I seen on some of these talk shows said for every millisecond they make 100 million. Every millisecond's worth $100 million to these big firms. And the few big firms that had these supercomputers at the time, they were 21 milliseconds faster than the average trader had. So there was a definite advantage for these billionaires. And then they paid extra to be on these super high speed computers that were located next to Wall Street servers. So apparently, I'm no computer expert, but apparently what these experts were saying was the closer to the server, the quicker it is too. So they were even faster than 21 milliseconds. So to me, that seemed like a rigged system. That was 2010. And I just recently checked and seen if they ever outlawed that. No, they didn't outlaw it. In fact, these guys got faster computers. They have more of an edge on us, okay? So like about a year ago, my sons told me to sign up for Robinhood. I'll get a free stock. I think I got Ford or something. And then he gets a free stock, so he signed up me and my other three sons, so the four of us, and then my son-in-law, and it was kind of fun little hobby. I really, wasn't too enthused because, my dad was a carny when he was younger, and he was taking us to the carnival. He would tell us how all these carny guys were getting over, and it kind of made the games not fun because the games were rigged. So it kind of wasn't too much fun for me. My kids had fun with it trading, but kind of knew the system was rigged. But what they did this week took it to a whole new level. What they did this week I don't think is legal. The question is, will anybody go to jail? So the billionaires, they do this thing called short selling. And to explain it as simple as I can is basically they bet that a stock is going to fail. So they're hoping an American company is going to fail. It's the most unpatriotic thing I've ever heard of. But this is what these guys do. They bet, and they're hoping, and they use their billion-dollar leverages to destroy companies so they make money. So basically, they say, okay, I'm going to bet 100. I'll just give you a simple terms. They do it in billions and millions and billions. But I'm going to bet $100 that this stock will go to $10. So they make however close it gets to. So if it goes to 20, they make 80. If it does go to 10, they make 90. Okay? But if it goes past that 100, they lose. And it can go on for infinity. It can keep going on. They can just keep losing and losing. And that's what happened, and they didn't like it. See, normally they have it all rigged. Okay, they'll pick a stock. We're going to put this stock in the ground. We're going to destroy this company, and we're going to make some billions on this. Well, this time all these Robinhood traders, like guys like me and you, got together in chat rooms and said, you know what? Let's save this stock. Let's freaking give these billionaire investors a dose of their own medicine. And they started buying like crazy. And they made a ton of money. The regular guy won. And the billionaires lost. They said they lost over $1 billion, and they're freaking out. Their heads are exploding. We can't allow this to happen. It's got to be outlawed. And they didn't like the medicine. They didn't like their own medicine. They didn't like the way it tasted. But what I believe was illegal is Robinhood shut down the ability for the regular guy to buy that stock. They made it where he could only sell it. And they're giving a million excuses. They didn't have the leverage, or they couldn't control, they couldn't handle the capacity. Just a bunch of lies to cover up that they're in bed with these billionaires for several different reasons. And then the usual suspects, like I said, the media covering, like in 2010, the media just talked about that rigged system of high-speed internet for a short time, so nothing was ever done about it. People were outraged for a couple weeks, and now it's forgotten about until I bring it up. But I put on CNN just to see how they would report it, because they're part of the, you know, the elite cabal of usual suspects I'm talking about. And Aaron Burnett on CNN saying, well, you know, this is very dangerous for the little guy who doesn't understand investing. He thinks he's making a lot of money. But yeah, I think Robinhood was right in shutting it down. We got to have, you know, stop gaps. And they had some billionaire guy who lost a ton of money saying, yeah, we got, you know, we got to control these little guys from getting out of hand and losing their money. But basically what they're saying is we can't let the little guys compete with the billionaires. And then big tech got involved too. Facebook shut down the chat room of these guys talking where they conspired to do this. And they said it was something about sexual things that they were saying. It was a total lie, and then they admitted, oh, it was a mistake. So you see the same usual suspects, just like in the political realm. They want to keep their insiders in charge. And if you notice, in 2010 when this happened, Obama was president, okay? And he's part of the establishment, and he's got all these lifelong politicians who are paid off by all these billionaires. You know, Wall Street gives more to politicians than anybody. And this time around, they gave more than any, like 100 to 1 to Biden. Just so you know, this guy is part of this cabal, like deeper than anyone that we ever had in the White House. And not only is he surrounded by lifelong politicians, he's a lifelong politician. So I don't suspect that he's going to have his Justice Department arrest anybody. He'll put a show investigation on, and this will blow over. But it's the usual suspects. Google removed 100,000 negative reviews to Robinhood. Just like Google, just like YouTube, removed all those dislikes from Biden's. If you're not familiar with that, when Biden's inauguration speech went on YouTube, his dislike ratio was 500 to 1. 500 dislikes for every 1 like. And YouTube removed most of those dislikes. This is what they do. They made now you got big tech, the media, and the political establishment being paid off by these billionaires. One big cult Bob, the usual suspects. They want to keep the little guy down, and they want to stay in control. And you know, we're fighting back. We just had a big win. GameStop was a big win for the little guy, and we just got to keep sticking it to him. So I suspect nothing's going to happen here, but it's nice to see that we didn't give up fighting. Just because we lost our race, we lost our man in the White House that was looking out for the little guy. The little guy's still fighting. And you know what they say? It's not the size of the dog in the fight. It's the size of the fight in the dog that matters. So keep fighting for what's right. God bless America. And stay Catholic.